touching it, that whether or not even by touching, you can feel it, that where the food is going. Okay. This is because of the movement of these muscles, and this movement of the muscles is called as peristaltic movement or peristalsis. This is called as peristalsis or peristaltic movement. Okay, so after this, where does the food go?
Sir, in the stomach.
Ritika, where does food go?
Stomach, sir. Stomach. The stomach.
Yes, stomach. So after this, the food enters our stomach, which is a J-shaped organ. It is shaped like J. You can see I'm drawing a J like this. So food enters into this J-shaped organ, which is our stomach. Here, the food is stored. The food is stored temporarily in our stomach. So temporarily, the food is stored in the stomach, and the walls of the stomach, they release three things which help in digestion. Okay. And also tell me, in the mouth, which is the enzyme that helps in which part of the food is digested? In our mouth, then only I'll come to the stomach. So in the mouth, which part of nutrient is digested?
Sir.
Did you get my question? Devan?
Yes, sir.
Devan?
But we don't.
Okay, fine. Devan, unmute yourself. Devan, good evening. Sarvesh?
Yes, sir.
Sarvesh, good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay, Devan, why didn't you join on time? Yes? Okay, your voice is not coming, so you can type in the chat section also, okay? Or just try to, let me check if your mic is enabled or not.
Sir, can I tell the answers?
Yes, sure, I'm coming to answer. Devan,
Sir, can
just
I tell,
leave
sir?
and rejoin. Devan, leave and rejoin. Okay, maybe your mic will start working. Leave and rejoin. So everyone, now pay attention to the class. Okay. See, in the mouth, up to now we have done nutrition or digestion in mouth, and this part will be doing digestion in our stomach. Okay. So in mouth, the main thing that comes is our saliva. Saliva, which is secreted by the salivary glands. So our salivary glands, they secrete saliva. Saliva means the watery substance which is present in our mouth. Our mouth के अंदर जो watery substance present है, that is called as saliva. In Hindi we call it as मुंह में पानी आना जो. Yes.
Sir, which make the food soft so that it is easy to swallow.
Yes, it is easy to swallow. It makes the food soft. It softens the food. Okay. Then it also helps in digestion. Saliva also helps in digestion. So I'm saying saliva, it digests starch. Starch is a type of carbohydrate. All of us know that food. Yes. Yes.
Sir, it digests starch to maltose, sir.
Yes,
sir.
it digests. It digests. This we have done in the last class.
Sir, there is an activity also so that we can know about saliva. Sir, sir, in that activity we would know about how saliva acts in the digestive system, sir.
Yes, how the saliva acts in the digestive system, how it helps in digestion. I will be explaining that activity also. See, starch is a type of carbohydrate. We know that all the nutrients are carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. Okay, starch and glucose, they are carbohydrates. Okay. What are the nutrients that are present in Swapnil? Swapnil?
What, sir?
Can you name some of the carbohydrates?
Yes, sir. Rice.
Sir,
Yes.
can
Rice.
Yes.
Sir, one is rice, and sir, one
They
is.
are the sources of carbohydrates. I'm doing types of carbohydrate, or names of some carbohydrates.
Sir, like
can I?
starch.
Okay. Yashashwini.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me.
Yes, sir. Sir, starch, glucose.
Yes. Yes. Starch, glucose.
Sorry, sir. Starch, glucose.
Okay. Very
Sir,
good.
these two
You
only
told
know.
two. Okay. Fine. Sugar. Sugar is also a carbohydrate. Manas, good evening. Manas,
Good evening, sir.
good evening. Okay. So, Manas, we are doing here. You are new. You are new here. Yes, Manas, are you new here?
No, sir.
Okay. So,
Sir,
from the next time,
sir.
join on time. Okay, Manas.
Yes, sir.
From the next time, join on time.
नो सर, अरे सर मेरा नाम सर्वेश है, मैंने दूसरी आईडी से ज्वाइन किया है।
क्या हुआ है?
सर मेरा नाम सर्वेश है, मैंने दूसरी आईडी से लॉगिन किया, उसका डिस्चार्ज हो गया मोबाइल।
ओके, तो आपका नाम क्या है? देवेन?
नो सर, सर्वेश।
ओके, सर्वेश। सर्वेश, आपने मानस की आईडी से ज्वाइन किया है, ठीक है। चलो, फाइन। सो starch is a type of carbohydrate. It is digested into maltose, or it is broken down into smaller molecules of maltose in the presence of an enzyme, and that enzyme is called as salivary amylase. You will write everything. Salivary
Yes, sir.
amylase. Okay. Everyone will write. So starch is digested by salivary amylase, which is an enzyme which is contained in the saliva. Our saliva contains salivary amylase. Okay. Saliva, which is there in our mouth, it contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. This salivary amylase, it helps in the digestion of starch, and it digests starch
Sir,
into maltose. Yes.
सर फूड पाइप में आपने बताया था कि एक थोड़ा सा वो ग्लंच है, सर उसको क्या कहते हैं?
Gut. Gut. This is called gut movement or constriction. Gut, or we also call it as constriction.
Sir, sir, there would be some name for this, sir.
Which one? Which thing?
Sir, this gut you told, sir.
Yes.
Sir,
No, this gut. There is no name for this gut. The movement of this gut moves downward. This movement is called a peristaltic movement. It is called a peristaltic movement or
the
peristalsis.
movement of that gut is called peristalsis.
Yes, it's movement. Okay, what happens? This gut pushes the food in the downward direction, and as a result, the gut moves down, and hence the movement of the gut is called as peristalsis or peristaltic movement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So about saliva,
Sir,
everyone is clear. Saliva has salivary amylase, which digests starch into maltose, and that is why आप chapati खाते हैं. So if you eat chapati without any vegetables, you will feel a sweet taste in your mouth. After chewing your chapati, you will feel a sweet taste because starch is tasteless. This starch does not have any taste, whereas maltose is sweet in taste. So it will give you a feeling of sweetness. Okay. So now we move to the stomach. How does digestion take place in the stomach? So in the stomach, there are three things for which the digestion, which help in digestion. Out of those three things, the first one is your mucus.
The
You have your
HCl and
mucus,
peptine.
HCl or hydrochloric acid.
The
Then not
pepsin.
pepsine,
And peptide.
The
pepsin,
pepsin.
pepsin. Okay. So what does mucus do?
Sir, it is a waxy substance.
Yes, mucus is a waxy substance. Who is telling this answer?
The Shweta.
Swapnil. Shweta, okay. No, so it is a waxy substance. Mucus is a waxy substance and it forms the inner lining of the stomach. Stomach की inner lining form करता है. So I am making the inner lining. It forms the inner lining of this. Suppose this is your mucus. It forms the inner lining of your stomach. Okay. So why is this important? Why is this mucus is important? Because in the stomach, hydrochloric acid is also being produced. Okay, and we know that this hydrochloric acid which is produced here, this hydrochloric acid, it can be
Sir, it kills
harmful also.
bacteria.
It kills bacteria, so it can even burn our stomach.
Yes, sir.
Yes, because it is an acid, so it can burn our stomach also. So that is why these stomach, they have a protection of mucus. So this mucus provides a protection to the walls of the stomach. Hydrochloric acid, it kills the bacteria. It kills bacteria.
Yes, sir.
Then second thing, it helps pepsin. Pepsin की भी help करता है. It helps pepsin. And what does pepsin do? Pepsin helps in the digestion
Sir,
of
it
milk
digests
protein.
the
Sir,
milk
it
protein.
digests milk proteins.
It digests milk proteins.
Yes, pepsin digests milk proteins. So that is why the small kids, all the small kids, they have a good secretion of pepsin because they generally drink milk only. So they have to have a good digestion. There is a lot of secretion of pepsin in kids, and as we grow, the secretion of pepsin decreases. Pepsin secretion decreases, and therefore old age people, they do not find it suitable to eat sweets. वो generally sweets उतना नहीं खा सकते हैं, old age people. Fine. So all these three things are clear: mucus, hydrochloric acid, and pepsin.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yashaswini. Okay, Yashaswini.
Yes, sir.
आपको कुछ पूछना है?
नहीं सर, कुछ नहीं पूछना.
Okay. So now we move further. Now after this, the food goes into the small intestine. So from here only, from the stomach, from here only, this small intestine starts. And why do we call it as a small intestine?
Because
Just wait. Okay, student, thank you for waiting. Thank you. आपने वेट किया थोड़ी देर तक. Okay. Fine. So in the stomach, the digestion is clear. After this, the food moves into the small intestine. So I told you that from here only, after the stomach, this is your starting of the small intestine. Okay. So why we call this as the small intestine? Is this really small?
No,
Sarvesh?
because
No, sir.
sir, because
Why
it
do we
cover
call
less area.
because it covers less area, you are almost close, but it does not cover less area. You are not using the correct word. Okay. So actually, what happens over here? This do you know what is the length of the small intestine in an adult?
Sir,
7
7
meters.
meters.
Sir,
Sir, 7
Sir,
meters.
7 meters.
Sir, 7 meters.
Okay, it's 7 meters. Our small intestine is about 7 to 8 meters of in any young. Okay, so how it is 7 meters? Because it is very coiled. If you see inside the large intestine, I showed you people in the large intestine that there is a lot of coiling. It's like this. It forms a coil. It's highly coiled like this inside the large intestine. Okay. So in this way, because of this highly coiled structure of the small intestine, it is a total of around 7 meters, so which is very long, around 7 meters in our stomach we are having. Whereas our height is a maximum of 1.2 meter. We are having a height of 2 meters maximum. Now, this small intestine is called a small intestine because it has a small diameter. Its diameter is very small. So that is why it is called as the small intestine. Then you have the large intestine. So this one structure I'm showing once more. Just wait. Okay. You can see a small intestine.
Yes, sir.
So this is the this part starting from here. Starting from here, this is your small intestine. And when the food enters in the small intestine, it passes through the small intestine directly over here in the coiled structure of the small intestine. After that, it passes into the large intestine here. So there are different names given over here that those are for the higher classes that you do not have to know. Now this one is your large intestine. This complete is your large intestine. It is called as large intestine because its diameter is large. Its length is not more than the small intestine. Its length is small, but the diameter of the large intestine is large. That is why it is called as the large intestine. So this diagram it traces how the food is moved. It can trace. So this is the complete path. This yellow colored path. It shows how the food moves. Okay. So food has come in the stomach. From the stomach, this food moves over here in the small intestine, and from the small intestine, it goes into the large intestine. See, this is how it moves in the small intestine. After the small intestine, it has moved into this large intestine. Okay. You can see this is the pathway of the food that has moved into the large intestine. Now, in the small intestine, what are the different things that happen? See here, here also, we can see here the food is coming from stomach through the small intestine. Now, these are your pancreas. Pancreas and liver, they perform important functions in digestion. Our food does not go to pancreas. Is the food going to pancreas? Food pancreas
No,
में जा रहा है क्या?
No,
No, the
sir.
food does not go to Deven. Deven, Deven, unmute yourself. Deven, Deven, unmute. Okay, fine. If you are not able to speak, no matter. If you should be able to listen, and if you are having anything, any doubt, Even see, even if you are not able to use your mic, so there is one solution you can do. You can first raise your hands, and then I'll give you opportunity. You can write your doubt, show through your camera, or you can use the chat section. Then also you can your doubts will be clear. Okay, Devan? Okay. So see, the food we see here, the food is not entering into the liver. The food does not go into the liver. This food is not going into the liver. We can see that this food is not going into the liver. Nowhere. Is it going? See, the food does not go into the liver. Rather, the food goes only through the small intestine. So, what role does liver perform? What role do pancreas perform? If the food does not go to them, can anyone tell how do liver and pancreas help in digestion? Yes, Ashwini?
Sir, what is the question? Sir, can you repeat your question?
See, the food does not enter into the liver. It also does not enter into the pancreas. So how do they help in digestion?
Sir, Shweta, can I tell?
Yes?
Sir, can I tell?
Yes?
Sir, the liver and the pancreas secrete digestive juice.
Okay. So I'm telling you now the name of the juice which is present over here. See the name of the juices which are secreted. So our liver, first of all, our liver secretes bile juice.
Sir, the liver. Sir, the
Yes.
liver also breaks down fat, sir.
The liver does not break. How does it break? It's the bile juice which is
By the
secreted
bile
by the
juice.
liver. Yes, the bile juice which is secreted by the liver, it helps in the digestion or the breakdown of fats. So our liver, it secretes bile juice. Liver secretes bile juice, and bile juice, it helps in digestion of fats.
सर वो फैट को ब्रेक डाउन करके छोटे फैट
It helps in digestion of fats.
Yes, sir.
Liver helps in the digestion of fats. Okay, its bile juice secreted helps in the digestion of fats. Then pancreas. Our pancreas, they secrete pancreatic juice. Pancreas secrete pancreatic juice. See, liver secretes bile juice, pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, and our small intestine, it secretes intestinal juices. Small intestine, it also secretes intestinal juices. It secretes intestinal juices.
That there are many juices.
Yes.
Sir, in small intestine secret many juices.
Yes. No, these are whatever the secretions are of pancreas, they are called as pancreatic juice. Whatever are the secretions of small intestine, they are intestinal juices. Okay, whatever are the secretions of liver, they are the bile juice. Then whatever are the secretions of the salivary gland, they are your saliva. Those are called as saliva. Like saliva contains salivary amylase. In the similar way, pancreatic juice also contains many enzymes. there are many enzymes which are present in the pancreatic juice. They help in the digestion of different components of food. Okay, like pancreatic juice contains trypsin. This you don't have to remember because this is not in your syllabus. Trypsin, chymotrypsin. Okay, there are other enzymes which are being secreted by in the pancreatic juice. In the pancreatic juice, all these enzymes are present, which help in the digestion of proteins, which help in the digestion of fats, which help in the digestion of carbohydrates, like maltase is present here, which help in the digestion of maltose. So there are many things which are present in these pancreatic juices. In the similar way, intestinal juices, they also contain a number of enzymes. All the intestinal juices, they contain a number of enzymes, so that those enzymes, they help in the digestion of different components of food in the small intestine. Okay, is this clear? Liver, pancreas,
Yes,
small
sir.
intestine. Okay, so my next question is, what do we call to those juices which are secreted by our stomach? Who will answer? Rishit? Rishit?
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Yes,
What
sir.
do we
Can
call
you
to
repeat
the
the question?
what do we call to the juices which are secreted by stomach? Like just
What
I
is,
told you here,
sir, what?
secretions of saliva,
Sir,
they are the bile. Yes,
sir, you called my name.
yes, Rishit.
Yes, sir.
Rishit. So the secretions of our uh, saliva, salivary gland, they are saliva. The secretions of liver, they are bile juice. The secretions of pancreas are pancreatic juice. The secretions of small intestine, they are called as intestinal juices. So what do we call the secretion?
Sir,
Sir,
What
gastric
name is
juice. Sir, gastric
not
juice.
gastric
Sir,
juice?
can you
Who
repeat
told
the
this answer?
question?
Yes, Ashwini.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Ashwini has already answered this question, Rishit. So you should remember this answer for the next time. Deven, you
Sir,
Sir,
also.
sir, you
sir,
didn't tell
because
the
of
full question.
because, sir, in that only we,
See,
sir, when our digestive system is not working properly, we get gastric from our stomach only. That is why I know that.
yes. So whatever
Sir, you
problems are
didn't.
related with your stomach, you call this as gastric. Okay. So stomach juices, they are called as gastric juices. Gastric.
Sir, you didn't tell the full question till that Yashashwini answered the question.
Okay. And don't mind. In the next, I will be asking one more question then after some time. Okay. That you will have to answer.
Okay,
Fine.
sir.
So our stomach, it secretes gastric juices. And these gastric juices, they contain mucus, HCl, and pepsin.
The
In the
pepsin.
similar way, pancreas secrete pancreatic juice, which contain different types of enzymes like trypsin, chymotrypsin. Okay, intestine also secrete, small intestine also secrete different intestinal juices, which help in the digestion of the different components of food, and those are called as intestinal juices. Okay, so is up to here everything is clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So Devan, turn on your camera. If you are not able to turn on your mic, turn on your camera. Maybe Devan is having some issues today because earlier also he was not able to speak. Fine. We come to next Rishit. I promise I will be asking to Rishit. Rishit,
Yes, sir.
okay. You tell. Bile juice of liver, it helps in digestion of which nutrient?
Sir, what can you
Sir,
repeat?
can I dance?
Which
Sir, can
nutrient
I
is
tell?
digested by bile juice?
Sir, can I tell?
Sir, can I tell?
Sir, can
Sir,
I
I'm
tell?
not able.
It,
Sir,
Sir, can I tell?
sir, they
Can
are
I
speaking
tell?
as
okay.
I can't hear the question. Sir,
Okay,
can you
everyone
repeat the
maintain
question?
silence. Okay, everyone maintain silence. Okay. Rishit,
Yes, sir.
okay, can you hear now?
Yes, sir. Now I can hear you.
Okay, so your question is which nutrient is digested in which nutrient is digested by the liver or bile juice of the liver?
Sir, can I
Yes,
tell?
Sir, can I tell?
Okay,
sir.
Rishit, yes, Rishit.
Sir, can I tell?
Just I'll be sharing the screen again. Okay. Avantika,
Sir, fats.
Sir, fats.
fats. Okay, see, it was written on the
Sir, it
screen
helps in
also.
digestion of fats.
So the bile juice make
It
the
helps.
fats in small.
Bile juice, it helps in digestion of fats. This we had done. Okay. So Rishit, pay attention a bit more. Liver secretes bile juice, which helps in the digestion of fats. Okay. Pancreas, they help in they secrete pancreatic juice, which contain different enzymes, and they help in digestion of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. All three are digested by the pancreas. All three are digested by the intestinal juices also from the small intestine. Okay. All these pancreatic juice and bile juice, they are secreted by the liver, they are secreted by the pancreas, and they are moved to, they are passed on into the small intestine. Okay. So this much is understood by everyone.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I am telling something more about the small intestine. Okay, see, this part tells us complete digestion. We have done digestion in human beings. So complete digestion has been done. Now let's say we will be doing the structure of our small intestine. Okay. So apart from digestion, small intestine performs one more very important function, that is absorption of nutrients. It also performs absorption of nutrients. All the nutrients which have been digested, they are absorbed by the body by the small intestine.
Sir, in
And it
small
is possible,
intestine.
yes,
Sir, in the small intestine, there is a finger-like structure which absorb. Sir,
yes,
it is
that
called
I'm
as
making
villi.
villi,
Sir,
villi,
villi.
villi or villi. See, our small intestine is a coiled structure, a very highly coiled structure like this. आपने diagram में ऐसा draw किया है. That is your small intestine. Okay. If we see from here, suppose I am looking from here. Okay. So it's something like this. It will be circular shape. From where I am looking, and there will be some finger-like structures like this inside it. Okay. Or if I cut it from here, longitudinal section, if I cut like this, then how will I obtain? I will see something like this. Okay, and there will be some structures which are like this. Okay. So these are some structures which are present in our small intestine. So is the diagram understood by everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is the diagram understood by everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now these finger-like structures which have been seen here, suppose this one. Uh, So this is your finger-like structure which is present. This is the finger-like structure, and in this, all these are the finger-like structures. Even these ones, they are all villi. We call them as villi. These are villi. They are finger-like projections which are in the present in small intestine. They help in, or villi help in absorption of nutrients. Help in absorption of nutrients. Villi help in absorption of nutrients. So after the small intestine, where does the food go?
Sir, large intestine.
Large intestine. So food goes in the large intestine. After this, the food enters into the large intestine. And since all the absorption takes place in the small intestine, that means all the nutrients of the food, they are absorbed in the small intestine. All the nutrients have been absorbed in the small intestine. Then what happens in the large intestine? Yes.
Sir, it
What happens in
absorbs
the large
water.
intestine?
Sir,
They
it
absorb
absorbs the
water and
water. Sir, it absorbs the water.
okay, so our large intestine, it absorbs water. This is our large intestine. It absorbs all the water and minerals.
And and sir, injection of wastes.
So all from here through the small, this was your small intestine, and from the small intestine, all the nutrients they move into the large intestine from here. Okay. So from here, all the nutrients they move into the large intestine, or all the food moves in the large intestine. Okay. So that food which is moving from here, this is semi-solid, or you can also say undigested food. This is the undigested food which is moving from here, from the small intestine to the large intestine. In the large intestine, all the water and minerals, they are absorbed along this. Okay. So here, all the water and minerals, they are absorbed. In the large intestine, you can mark this. This one is your large intestine. And in the large intestine, absorption of water and minerals takes place. Here we have absorption of water takes place in the large intestine. Now, as the food moves through the large intestine, it gets collected here in the last portion, which is your rectum. So all the undigested food, it gets digested in the rectum. This is your rectum. So in the rectum, all the food gets digested. All the undigested food, it gets stored temporarily. Yeah, it gets temporarily stored. All the food comes through it. It gets temporarily stored here in the rectum. Then after this undigested food comes out of the body through our anus. This is our anus. Our last part of the body, or last opening of our body is anus.
Sir, anus.
Anus.
Sir,
So through the anus,
undigested food gets out.
yes, undigested food, it comes out of the anus. Now, shall I ask the questions again?
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, anyone wants to ask anything?
Yes, sir.
चलो पूछो ऋषि.
सर
सर मेरे
Yes.
को
सर मेरे को भी है
हाँ ऋषित को है ना.
सर मेरे को भी है.
Okay, ठीक है. Yashaswini, you also have doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start with Rishit and then with Yashaswini. Yes, Rishit, what is your
Sir,
doubt?
can you show the diagram, sir, once again?
Okay, I'll be showing you which diagram? Just this large intestine or
Yes,
complete
sir.
digestive
Yes,
system?
sir. This. Sir,
Only the large intestine.
yes, sir.
Okay, I'll be showing once more. And Yashaswini, what is your doubt?
यस सर, जैसा आपने बताया कि वो अनडाइजेस्ट फूड निकलता सर, वो जब डाइजेशन का प्रोसेस में होता है वो सर वो डाइजेस्ट क्यों नहीं हो पाता है सर?
Okay, see those components, they cannot be digested. They are generally fibers. All this food which is undigested, this is basically fibers. They are fibers or they are cellulose. Okay, they are made of fibers or cellulose. So our body cannot digest these. These fibers cannot be digested by our body, hence they remain as undigested. However, sometimes it can happen that some nutrients have also not been digested. If we perform overeating, हम ज्यादा खाना खा लेते हैं, so our body is not able to digest all the food. So whatever remains over there that is not digested, so that is found over here. All of the food which is undigested, it will get collected in the rectum.
सर
Yes,
बट हम
Ashwini?
लोग तो सर बट हम लोग तो कोई फाइबर्स वैसे वाली चीज खाते नहीं है, तो सर फिर वो कैसे हो
कैसे
डाइजेशन?
Sir,
कैसे वाली
the
चीज
food
नहीं
has,
खाते?
sir, some food has fiber already.
All the food they have fibers. Okay, like
Yes, sir.
suppose I am talking of apple. Okay, suppose I am talking of apple. Okay, your apple has sugars. That is why it is sweet in taste. Apple has iron in it. It has some other minerals also. Then what is the basic material of the apple? These are your fibers. If I want these nutrients only, sugars and iron, so I can take them in the form of tablets also. आप समझ रहे हैं ना, जो भी हमें nutrients चाहिए, we can take them in the form of tablets and they will get inside our body.
Yes, sir.
But the fibrous part of the food,